Here's a question. What's common between the Odyssey, Drakula, and the first labor strike in recorded history? Yes, the smell. The smell of garlic. Welcome. I'm Gabi Winkler, and this is Eatymology, a series about the curious history of the most ordinary culinary ingredients. And today we are going to talk about a strongly smelling bulb, which is not only a kitchen staple, but also a source of many mysteries. Garlic. Can you imagine life without garlic? Me? No, I can't. I love it. Garlic is one of our most ancient ingredients.
The word garlic comes from Old English, gorlic, meaning spare leek. Garlic is a species of the onion genus Allium, which includes onions, leeks, shallots, and chives, and it is native to South and Central Asia and northeastern Iran.
It has been used as a medicinal plant and food source over 7,000 years. Actually, the entire ancient world loved garlic. A few notable cultures where it played an important role include ancient Egyptians, Greeks, Babylonians, biblical Hebrews, Romans, Vikings, Koreans, Chinese, and Native Americans. People used to believe that garlic had healing powers. If you ask my grandma how to treat a sore throat, she would say, mix some crushed garlic with honey and swallow it down. Yeah, I know. But it's actually true that garlic has some antiseptic properties.
The earliest mentions of garlic superpowers can be found in old Sanskrit records, but it was widely used as a medicine in ancient China as well.
Ancient Egyptians prescribed garlic to workers and soldiers as a strengthening food. Jewish slaves who were building the pyramids loved it so much that when their garlic rations were reduced, they simply refused to work. That was the first labor strike in recorded history, and all because of garlic, or the lack thereof.
There are so many beliefs and tales attached to garlic. For example, Odysseus used it to resist the charms of the trickster nymph Circe. Roman soldiers and sailors ate garlic before battles because they believed it gave them courage. And the Incas believed that garlic clove pendants hung around their necks would protect them from the sharp horns of a bull.
And the most famous garlic belief of all? Of course, vampires.
Garlic!
Thanks to Bram Stoker, everybody knows that vampires hate the smell of garlic. But garlic wasn't just used for chasing away evil spirits and vampires. It was even believed that it could ward off the plague. People wore garlic garlands just to save themselves from the deadly disease. Not sure if it was very effective though. So as we have seen it, garlic was quite important in many cultures. But nothing can beat Korea because the country's origin story is directly linked to garlic. So the story goes,
once upon a time, in ancient Korea, a heavenly prince named Hwang-un wanted to bring civilization to the earth. So he descended to a mountain and built a city there. One day, a bear and a tiger came to him and begged to become human. Hwang-un heard their prayer and said, All right. If you stay in this cave for 100 days and you only eat mugwort and these 20 bulbs of garlic, I can make you humans. So they go in the cave, and the tiger gives up after a few days. But the bear persevered, and on the 21st day, it became a beautiful woman named Unyeo. Unyeo and Hwang-un fell in love and had a son named Dang-un, who became the founder of the first Korean kingdom.
So, throughout human history, people were obsessed with garlic. But why? Why on earth would anybody want to eat something that smells so bad? Well, actually, the true answer hides behind garlic's iconic smell. The main ingredient in garlic that makes it stink is called allicin, and it actually has some powerful antiseptic properties. So the next time you are worried about food poisoning, just grab some raw garlic and gobble it up. Yes.
At some point in history, the rich started avoiding eating garlic as it was associated with the poor. If you wanted to be seen as high class, you had to distance yourself from anything that reminded people of your peasant past.
And garlic breath was one of those things. In Britain, from Elizabethan times, garlic eater was a common negative adjective for the lower class and the non-British. Alright, okay, we know that garlic is stinky, but why does it make our breath stink too? Well, it's all because of the way how our bodies process it. When we eat garlic, it gets broken down in our digestive system, and the compounds that cause garlic breath end up in our bloodstream. And because these compounds are super stable, they can stick around for quite a while.
Eventually, our liver steps in to save the day and breaks down these compounds and makes the smell go away.
But until that happens, we are stuck with garlic breath. Some people are lucky and have a very active liver that can quickly get rid of garlic breath, while others are not so fortunate and may have to deal with it for days. If you are one of those unfortunate ones, maybe this fun fact will make you feel a little bit better. There were moments in history when garlic smell was beneficial. Do you know these guys?
Did you know that during the 1600s, those funky-looking beaked masks were filled with garlic to protect the doctors from the plague? And, of course, to mask the smell of the dying.
It is not sure whether garlic actually works to fight off the plague, but as we discuss it, we do know that it has some pretty incredible antibacterial properties. In fact, it was used to treat open wounds before we had antibiotics. For example, during World War I, the Russian army used garlic to treat the wounded on the front line after they ran out of medicine. They relied so heavily on garlic that it became known as the Russian penicillin. Today, there is a sort of modern garlic renaissance.
Probably it all started with Julia Child, who called garlic as the queen of the kitchen.
You know, we have garlic. So here's a garlic press. You just put the whole garlic in there and go, "Urgh."
She was one of the first women to host her own cooking show on television, providing tips and tricks on how to prepare French food simply and easily at home.
And she loved garlic. I mean, she really did. One of her most famous dishes was called poulet à l'ail, chicken with garlic. But that wasn't your regular amount of garlic. She used 40 cloves of it.
And since then, garlic became an extremely popular ingredient. Just look at the internet. You find so many garlic recipes everywhere. Be it roasted garlic, crushed garlic, blackened garlic,
Pickled garlic, and it's extremely delicious. Hope you enjoyed today's episode about garlic, one of my favorite ingredients. Be it roasted, crushed, minced, or pickled, it may be a bit smelly, but we can't deny its importance in human history. And if you also like garlic, don't forget to let me know in the comments. Also, if you don't, I totally understand. Well, thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.